I'm in a group full of Black female witches, a coven. And tomorrow's the full moon, and we're doing a spell, and we really, really need a fifth witch.
What is going on, y'all? How are you doing today? It feels like it's been a long time since we sat down and talked. I don't know why. So today, y'all, we are here to do my Wicked City Season 1 review. Now, Season 1 was short, and I feel like there's a lot of things that I already kind of like touched on as far as what I thought about the show, what I thought about the story, things like that. So, I'm on the fence. Like, I kind of want today to be like an in-depth type situation, but I also feel like because it's so short of a season and I've already kind of like touched on a lot of things, I kind of just want to talk about certain elements of the show, and you know, we go from there. So I think I'm gonna break this review up into 3 parts. The first part is going to be the story, the second part is going to be the characters, and then the third part will just kind of be like me giving predictions of what I think will happen and sort of like maybe some little tweaks they can make for the future. So if you want to watch that, stick around, get you some popcorn, get you a drink, something like that. My lighting is horrible right now, so just go with it. Don't make fun of me, because if you do, you know what's gonna happen. I'm coming to your house. I'm gonna cut up your wigs. So the first thing that I want to talk about today is the story. Okay, y'all know, if you have followed me on any platform whatsoever, you know I love the story. You know that I feel like the plot of Wicked City is very solid. Like, the way that they tied certain things in together. You know, I've seen people call it predictable or whatever the case may be, but predictable or not, I think it worked. I think that what they went for really worked. So if you don't know about the show, which if you're following me, I'm assuming that you had to have seen me talk about it at least at some point. But anyway, the plot of the show is our main character, Camille. She ends up losing her mother at the beginning of the series, which is the catalyst for everything that has happened. And so her mom on her deathbed sends her to Atlanta to go find a person named Caden. And Camille goes down there. She looks for the person named Caden, can't find her. And we're also introduced to the coven, which is Jordan, Sherise, Simona, and Angela. And Tabitha is the head of their coven. Everyone's lives get very much enmeshed. Jordan at this time is trying to do a spell to petition the spirits for more power, for an active power, and so her path gets crossed with her path gets crossed with Camille, I'm sorry. From there, they do a spell trying to get the power to Jordan. They end up accidentally killing their friend Mona. Mona comes back. She gives these warnings that her guides on the other side gave her. And we watch the story unfold from there with Claudette. Claudette comes in. She's a villain. She's trying to get more power as well. She senses the death magic from when the girls brought their friend Mona back. And so that led her directly to them. And we find out along the way Camille is actually Claudette's daughter. Caden is Claudette's sister. Claudette, Tabitha, and Caden used to be on the council together, and Claudette feels like Caden and Tabitha betrayed her because Camille actually died at birth, and Claudette brought Camille back to life using death magic. And of course, you know, Tabitha turned her in. Claudette was stripped of her magic. It was put inside of Camille. And they told Claudette that her baby was killed. And so she was on this warpath for revenge. And so in the midst of all of this, we have the handler coming. The handler is like a magical slave master person. It's that's why, like, that's me just kind of like giving the story kind of rapid fire. but there's so many nuances to it. You get stories between Angela and Mona. You get to see Sherise. You get to see Jordan. We don't learn a lot about Jordan, but we know enough about her to where I want to know more. So I think as far as like crafting the story goes and figuring out what they wanted it to be, they did a good job with that. I think what people need to keep in mind is the fact that they did only have 6 episodes. They only had 6 episodes to do so much. So they had to tie storylines together. They had to tie characters together. They had to create entire backstories. They had to, bring these characters into a place where their interactions made sense, all in 6 episodes. So when you think about it by comparison, there are shows whose first seasons have 22 episodes, and they have to spread that story over 22 episodes. So imagine having to like jam pack, getting to know characters, getting to know the plot, trying to get to the drama, connecting stories, creating backstories. Imagine doing all of that in 6 episodes. So for me, it was a success. For me, they did a good job with that. For me, they did a really good job of making the characters human while also making sure we understood that there is an ending point that we're going to get to. Because I think another trap that some shows fall into is they have the characters just kind of do mindless stuff because they're just trying to fill time. And so because they only had 6 episodes, we didn't have time for fluff. We didn't have time for watching Jordan go to the store so that she could go get some more caraway seeds and she bumps into her ex-boyfriend from 15 years ago. We didn't have time for that. That wasn't going to happen because we just didn't, unless it was like important to the plot. I think that with the time constraint that they had on them, they did a very, very good job. Now, because they do only have 6 episodes, there are some things that get kind of like maybe a little lost in the shuffle. The biggest thing for me was Camille's mom, because I understand that's kind of not like a forefront thing right now, because by the time Camille meets everyone, it had been a couple of months since what happened. Of course, that's not going to be like the immediate thing that we need to work on, because you have the handler, you have Claudette, you have Mona, you have all of that happening at one time. But I kind of think it got a little lost at certain points. It kind of got a little like muddied up a little bit. I don't know how to describe it. And I don't think it's the writer's fault. I think it's just when you have, 6 episodes to get so much done, not every single thing is going to be at the forefront every single episode. But the more I think about it, I feel like it was kind of like there, because Camille was talking about how she was lonely, they moved around a lot, stuff like that. So, and I'm not good at explaining stuff sometimes, y'all, so please bear with me. I think what I mean by it wasn't like at the forefront is it kind of felt like Camille's mama being killed should have been more of like a whodunit than it was. And I know the writers have said that we're going to get more into that in season 2. That is going to be something that we're going to explore. And, even at the end of the season, Camille was talking to her mom and she was like, do you know who did this to you? And she was like, well, yeah, I know who did it, but, that's a story that takes longer than what we have time for. And I was like, what do you mean? So I was very intrigued. Like, don't get me wrong, I was very intrigued. I just hope that that's not something that like we're in season 3 and we still don't know. That's my only hope is, because when season 2 comes, because yes, we are going to claim a season 2. I don't think they need to wrap it up like first episode, but it needs to be wrapped up in season 2. I don't think that needs to be like an ongoing plot throughout the lifespan of the show. So I'm very interested to see where they go with that. And also, just to kind of go back to like how they tied the story together. Listen. Some people like I said, have said that it was very predictable. They knew what was gonna happen from like episode 1 or whatever the case may be. I was shocked. And maybe it's because I'm not a smart person. I don't know. But, you know, I kind of figured what I thought was gonna happen was that Claudette's, I figured Claudette's magic was inside of Camille, but I figured it was more of like she was born around that time and they imprisoned, you know, Claudette's magic inside of this newborn baby. That was what I thought happened. That was what I figured happened. But when Claudette like got to grabbing at her womb, I was like, oh, so that's her daughter. And I'm happy with that twist, me personally. I was happy with that twist. I felt like that was a good twist. Did not see in any shape, form, or fashion that Caden and Claudette would be sisters. I thought that Claudette and Caden maybe were on the council together. I did think that, but at no point did I think they were gonna be sisters. I was like, oh my God, look at y'all. Like, I loved that. Because I just love the fact that it gives Camille that family tie. You know, it gives her that, like, it makes her feel less alone. And then to know that Claudette isn't the only part of her. She also has Caden. Like, she also has this good part of her that exists in the world that she can touch and see and feel. And I just, God. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all of that. I'm going to wait till I get to the characters. And then, y'all, we have to talk about the ending. Oh, my God. The end of the season was just phenomenal. So, by the end of the season, the handler gets there. And all hell has broken loose at this point. The girls will come up with a plan to, you know, try to, like, bind Claudette. I mean, Darlitra is free from her new, like, y'all, it gets so real. And so in the end, I'm just gonna skip over all of it. Y'all go watch it. Like, go watch it. I'm not gonna tell you. You know what? No, I'm not gonna tell you. I am not. I was gonna initially tell you and I was gonna spoil it. No, I'm not. You go watch it. Go watch the very end. Because I've already gave y'all enough. I already told y'all what happened. You go watch the end. So y'all, now, okay, I'm not even gonna lie. My favorite part of this entire show were the characters. I love the characters. I love that each character had their own unique style. Like, the characters had their own personalities. They weren't just like cookie cutter. They weren't, you know, just, oh my God, we're gonna take them and we're just gonna have the same person be in 6 different outfits. Like, every character had a distinct personality, and I love the way that each one of them approached magic. I'm gonna just start with Sherise because Sherise is my favorite. I feel like Sherise is probably a lot of people's favorites. Sherise has the ability to entrance people. That's the word I like to use, is entrance. So she can make a suggestion and she can basically like put that suggestion in your mind and then you're gonna do it. She goes on a journey this season. She goes on quite the journey because when the show starts, you know, Sherise is she's doing her thing. She's working at a strip club. She's a stripper. She's, you know, getting her money, whatever. She's using her power in like everyday life. She does tell us that her powers are starting to grow. She's almost able to like control people now instead of just like manipulate their mind. And her best friend, she's actually best friends with Angela. And then she has another friend named Taj. And her and Taj are like friends with benefits, but we find out later on that Taj has deeper feelings for her, and that she actually has deeper feelings for Taj, but she's just not telling him because I guess my girl just didn't want to get hurt. And so the one big thing that happens with Sherise this season is she just makes things worse. Like, she just goes from like worse to worser. So Claudette comes to Sherise and tells her, like, you're going to help me get Camille. Sherise tries to entrance Claudette, and Claudette is like, baby, you're going to have to try a little bit harder than that. And so she tells her, like, you know, Tabitha is stifling you. I can help you learn to control your magic, stuff like that. You can have whatever you want. And Sherise, in the moment, is thinking, like, okay, all right, I'm not gonna do this. And so, you know, some things go down between her and Camille, and so she makes a deal to start working with Claudette, and like from there it just starts to get worse. Like she uses her magic on Mona, which ends up on Mona to make her like go be in a relationship with Angela. It ends up putting a strain on Angela and Mona and Angela end up actually breaking up. Then when they realize what Sherise did, they get like horribly upset with her. Sherise ends up in Chantal, making him obsess over her. I mean, like, y'all, it's a lot. And then what ends up happening in the end, like, she's a part of what happens to Tabitha. She's a part of, like, the whole shebang. And basically, Claudette has, like, got her now. Like, she's in Claudette's servitude. And then by the end of the show, the handler ends up taking Sherise. Y'all, my baby is hurt. And she's going through, okay? What I like the most about Sherise is she seems like a person who's very protective, and she just doesn't. She and Jordan seem like they're two sides of the same coin. They don't make good choices sometimes, but it's from good intentions. Even though you could, now let's just be honest about the situation. We know part of why she did what she did with Camille was because she hated Camille and she just wanted Camille out because she didn't like Camille from the get-go. She didn't like Camille from the jump. And so, you know, but in my girl's defense, she saw it as Camille coming in, turning their lives upside down, and she just wanted things to go back to normal. And they did not go back to normal, but my girl tried. She gave it an honest go. She did. She gave it an honest effort. Sherise is my favorite character, if you can't tell. I just love her, like, that confidence that you can tell she's kind of insecure, like, underneath, but she's using that confidence as like that. Nah, we're not doing this. You know, I'm good. I don't need you. I don't need a man. You know, but I'm gonna look out for my friends and whatnot. And she's so knowledgeable about magic because Sharice's family has been doing magic since before slavery. So I think she's part of like her family's been doing it since like ancient times. She comes from like a lot of shamans, and so she's very knowledgeable about like death magic. She's very knowledgeable about like the rules of magic, things like that, how things are supposed to go, the natural order, and she's kind of like a reference point for them. Like when they first find out that Camille has death magic, she's like, no, baby, no, death magic completely goes against the laws of nature. And I just love the fact that Sherise is that character that this is nothing new to her. Like, I think you always in a group need to have that one character that it's not just that, you know, she found out she was a witch in the past 4 years or so. You know, she knows magic because she's grown up with it. It is a part of who she is. And I love that. I love that so much. And I'm so excited to see what happens in season 2. Like, they better find my girl. I know that. They better find my girl, because if they don't, I'm going to go get her myself. I'm going to go find her. I'm going to go to wherever the handler got Sherise at, and I'm going to let you know right now I'm coming for you. The man was really good looking, so I'm coming for you anyway. But I'm coming for you for my Sherise. So the next character I feel like is important to talk about is Jordan. Okay, Jordan is a handful. Jordan is a lot, but Jordan is one of those characters that I think grows on you because she's like a little sister to you. Like, I feel like Jordan is that character that you just kind of want to protect. Like, you want to thump her upside the head, but you also want to protect her. Jordan can sense magic, and she feels like she needs a more active power because she feels like she's not contributing anything to the coven. And so Jordan is low-key the catalyst for everything that happens like this season. I'm just gonna be honest with you. The entire story, the bulk of the story happens because Jordan wants to get an active power, like we talked about earlier. And so they do a spell that Jordan, you know, created so that she can petition for more magic. But in the process, Mona gets overloaded and she dies. And so they do a resurrection spell to bring her back. Sherise is against it, but, you know, everyone is like, no, we have to bring her back. And so, you know, when they bring her back, that's when Claudette is able to sense the death magic, and she is, you know, she comes to Atlanta to find them. And so that's why I say Jordan is low-key the catalyst for everything, because the spell she did is what drew, you know, Claudette into town. And so it just, it's like, oh my God. It was like, but, you know, Jordan, I think Jordan is a well-written character, because Jordan is, you know, so the writers had, like, they do a clubhouse, or they did a clubhouse after each, you know, episode. They were just talking about Jordan, and one of the writers made a very, very good point. Everyone has been Jordan at some point. Everyone has been that insecure, you know, just trying to find their place person. Everyone knows someone like that. And I love Jordan. A lot of people don't, but I love me some Jordan. I do. Because I just feel like she's one of those relatable characters that just, she's so happy and so peppy and so gung-ho and so, but on the flip side, when she goes off on Sherise later on in the season, that show, like, Jordan is just an emotional character. And I think it makes sense, because with her being able to sense magic, she has a deep connection to people. And I feel like in order to be able to connect to people, you have to be emotional. You have to be able to tap into that emotion. And so Jordan's power even begins to grow, and she's able, like, she starts having like dream visions, and she's able to see the handler's face. And so it's like, Jordan has so much more power than she knows. Jordan has so much more power, and I would love to see her, like, lead the coven, maybe start her own coven, something like that. Like, Jordan has the potential, and I think that Jordan is one of those characters that she's going to be people's favorite. Just wait. When Jordan really gets in her bag, when Jordan really gets in her magic bag, the way she wants to be, everybody's gonna be like, oh, I love Jordan. Jordan is so powerful. Jordan is this. No. I remember when y'all was talking about Jordan. I remember that. Don't, because I got you on candid camera. I got you on 4K. But Jordan is a lot like Sherise, where the decisions that she makes has a really big impact on the group. And I think by the end of the season, she sort of understands that more. I think before, she was just like, I just want magic, you know, we're just like, da-da-da. But by the end of the season, Jordan fully understands that her actions have consequences. And I think she starts to understand you can't just want to fix everything and so it's magically fixed. She's starting to understand that you have to fight to correct a mistake sometimes, and even that's not gonna be enough. So I'm ready to see season 2, see what they got in store for my Jordan. Y'all, I did not realize I didn't realize how much I loved Angela until, like, I was at probably mid-season. Angela is just that chaotic friend that she's like a quiet chaos. Like, things can be going on and Angela's gonna be high, number one. And she'll randomly just be like, whoa. Like, she can sense magic. She can not sense magic in the same way that Jordan can, but she can sense it. Like, she could tell that Camille was super powerful. She can tell when, like, a vibe is off, you know, whatever else. But Angela's main power is plant magic. So my girl is a magical drug dealer, okay? My girl be sitting up here making these concoctions. But what I love about Angela's power is that later on, Angela starts to make, like, potions or drugs or whatever you want to call it that can help with, like, trauma and help you process trauma and take you on, like, a vision quest type thing. You know, a vision quest is kind of like taking you through a series of events so that you can find out something about yourself. And towards the end, she starts coming up with that kind of stuff, mainly to help Mona, but she's also just been working on it herself anyway. And I just love the fact that she is making money off of it, but she's also doing what she loves. Like, she's doing things that alter people's, you know, states, but it's also incorporating, like, her knowledge. We find out that she has, I think, like, a PhD in botany or something. Lord Jesus, I don't remember. Y'all, I done got old. But, you know, we find out that she's got that. And what I love about that is I love when a character has a passion. and they have a viewpoint, and it's not just, okay, well, I'm good at this, I'm good at magic. You know, I love the fact that she's good at a particular thing, and she's very knowledgeable about that. So it's like she's not just the one that makes potions. No, like, if Angela made it, Angela wrote it. Angela knows what goes with what. She understands the side effects of things. She understands how things can affect you, and I love her. Like, she'll just start doing like stuff like this all of a sudden, and I think she's such a good addition because I think she grounds them. I think she's that person that's a realist, but she also thinks with her emotions. So it's like she's got that good balance, and she's that person, and we don't get a chance to see it a whole lot, but I feel like Angela is that person that they come and talk to, and you don't even realize that you're doing it until later on. And, you know, when you try to go talk to her, and somebody else is talking to her. So Angela is that kind of person, and I love that character so much. Mona kind of got on my nerves a little bit more than I thought she would. Mona has the power of like electrokinesis. She can control like electricity, stuff like that, or magnetic wave, or like electric wave. I don't know how to explain it, y'all. I'm not smart. Mona dies and then is brought back, and she's not right after that. She is not right. She doesn't feel right. Everything feels off, and so it's like Mona decides to give up on magic. And from that perspective, like, I fully understand it, but Mona kind of got on my nerves after a certain point, and I hate it, but that's good writing. Like, it's good writing. I'm not saying, like, I want to say that. I'm saying that she got on the character got on my nerves because of the writing, because of the good writing, and because she just got to a point where I'm like, girl, okay, we get it. You don't want to do magic anymore. We understand you don't want nothing to do with magic. Hush. Like, at one point she was getting ready to move out, and I'm like, okay, Mona, just go. Don't tell us no more that you finna go. Just leave. Just get out. But I love the actress. I love the actress who plays her. And I actually really like the character of Mona because I think she's a good point of view of like what it must be like to actually have to deal with that on a daily basis. Like, you see how magic can affect you. You see how magic can take you down. You see how magic can, you know, literally ruin your life. And so it's like, I can't be mad at Mona from that perspective. It's just for me more so like, Mona, we understand, we get it. But that's a pet peeve of mine. But what I do absolutely love the most about Mona is that she never seemed like she was overly invested in it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the way she reacted was normal, would be a normal response. And I feel like that's in line with the person Mona was anyway. Because like, if Jordan all of a sudden stopped wanting to be a witch, I would be like, oh my God, like, what must have happened? But Mona seemed like she was just chilling anyway. She was just kind of mid. She was like, look, I like being able to use this magic. I like being able to do me a little something. And, you know, go from there. But once my girl got taken over by that wraith, once that thing was in her body, nope. She said, no, ma'am. And I fully understand what she was saying at that point. Like, no, ma'am, we're not doing this. And then when Sherise used her magic on her, so that's why I say, like, as much as she got on my nerves at certain points, I understood fully where she was coming from. Like, there was no point where I was like, Mona, what you saying don't even make sense. Like, of course it makes sense. It just, the way it would come out sometimes would be like, girl, okay. But no, I fully understood where Mona was coming from. Fully. Camille. So let's get into Camille. Camille is kind of like your typical, I didn't know I was magical. Oh my God. Like, I don't know. Camille is like your average girl who is thrust into this world, and now she's got to figure out, like, of course she's the one with the most power, and we've got to kind of figure out like what that means for her. And Camille, I feel like kind of goes from like 0 to 100, because I feel like At first, she didn't want anything to do with it, didn't even believe it, you know, like existed. And then by the end of the season, she's up here coming up with plans to go up against Claudette. She's up here like, yeah, when she starts taking my magic out of me, I'ma just make her stop. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, Miss Camille, you better. I enjoyed Camille. You know, did Camille, sometimes I was with Sherise. I'm like, girl, you gotta go. Like, you got to get up out of here. But I do like the journey that Camille goes on. You know, finding her people, finding her tribe, finding, you know, finding the place where she belongs. You know, she finds an aunt that she comes to care about kind of quickly, because I was kind of like, girl, you just met this woman and you hugging her already, telling her to be careful. All right. But anyway, I don't know. I enjoy Camille. I'm very excited to see what they do with Camille in season 2 as well. Camille, I feel like, gets blamed for a lot of things that are not her fault. Camille gets, you know, a lot thrown on to her because she got thrown into this. She is introduced to this magical world, told she has all this power, and she doesn't have any like knowledge of it. And now all of a sudden she's just like the key to everything. And so I don't know. And I'm ready to see who Camille's daddy is. I'm very ready to see who Camille's daddy is. We didn't really get enough about Tabitha, I feel like, for me to have like a full opinion about her, but I liked her. Like, I like Tabitha. Tabitha, Claudette, and Caden, I feel like I'm not gonna go into like a lot of detail about, because at the end of the day, the show was about the 5 girls. And so, you know, I don't know. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a separate video about Claudette, Tabitha, and Kate, because I feel like that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a completely separate video about them, because I feel like this is going on kind of long, and I don't want to just like rush past them and be like, okay, well, yes, this is what I think, this is what I think. So we take a look. Overall, y'all, I think that the show was amazing. I do. I really think that they did a good job with the story. I think they did a good job with the characters. I think they did a good job of executing the plan that they had in their head for what they wanted the season to be. And you know, people talk about the production and the acting and the this and the that, and I'm like, y'all, come on. We've watched, and I'm not gonna get into that, but we've watched, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. We've watched some things. Overall, I would give the show probably like a 9 out of 10. And the only reason I don't give it a 10 out of 10 is just because, you know, because they were kind of like cramped and rushed for time. I feel like there were some kind of little spots that could be hit, you know, that if they had had more time would have been better. But overall, y'all, I'm here for it. I'm absolutely 100% here for it. I felt like the characters were consistent. I felt like the story was consistent. I feel like they threw twists in there that didn't just feel like, oh my God, I can't believe, you know, this, why would they even do that? Doesn't make sense. I feel like the twists all made sense. We got a chance to learn more about Darlitra. Darlitra is another one. Darlitra, put a pin in this, because Darlitra is another one I'm gonna be making a video on, because baby, I love me some Darlitra. She came in at the very end and said, oh, you wanted a twist? I'ma steal your heart. So I love me some Miss Darlitra. I know I'm ending this maybe a little abruptly. I'm still trying to learn how to format YouTube videos. I'm still trying to learn how to like talk about things that I want to talk about. I'm still learning how to go in depth without going super like being like lengthy, and I think that's the problem, is I feel like I don't want to be like lengthy, but I want to give this show the time it deserves. Like, even if this ends up being a little bit of a longer video, I really wanted to take time to talk about this show, because it's one that I feel like we need to talk about. It's one that we need to promote. It's one we need to put out into the universe. We need to make sure everybody knows about it, you know, like. So is this gonna be my greatest review? No. Am I probably gonna come back and redo it at some point? Yes. I don't know. I don't know what else. So y'all give me some comments. Y'all give me some feedback. Tell me kind of like how I should have formatted this, what I maybe could have like focused in on, pinpointed. Just give me some feedback on it. Thank y'all for taking the time to listen, to watch. Whatever you did today, if you put it on and you walked off and started sweeping, thank you. If you sat here and watched me, thank you. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna let y'all have a good rest of the day and or night and or evening and or whatever it is when you are watching this. And I'm signing off. Bye.